How many people are using Copilot? None.
Windows 11.
As you may have heard recently, that no one likes the recent changes we've made to our flagship Microsoft Office software. People don't like was the overcramming of AI in there. Things have gotten so bad that our CEO had to step in and tell people to stop calling it AI slop.
The productivity software you have been renting every single month just got a serious challenger, and it costs absolutely nothing. LibreOffice has quietly become the escape route millions of people were waiting for. Governments are switching, schools are switching, and now ordinary users who are exhausted from paying Microsoft year after year are switching too. The question is no longer whether LibreOffice is capable enough. The question is why you are still paying for something a free alternative already handles just as well. Let us set the scene. Microsoft Office, now officially rebranded as Microsoft 365, is no longer software you buy once and keep forever. It's a monthly subscription. It's a cloud dependency. It's an ecosystem deliberately engineered to ensure you never fully escape. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint used to be tools you owned outright. Today, they're gates that charge you rent just to walk through. And buried inside that subscription is Copilot, Microsoft's AI assistant, which processes your documents through Microsoft servers by default. Your legal correspondence, your financial records, your most sensitive personal files running through cloud infrastructure owned by a corporation whose business model revolves around your data. That's the world Microsoft built, and LibreOffice is the world millions of people are choosing instead. In April 2026, the Document Foundation, the nonprofit behind LibreOffice, reported global adoption figures that would have been unthinkable just 3 years ago. European public sector institutions account for a significant and growing portion of that number, driven by cost pressure, data sovereignty legislation, and plain frustration with Microsoft's relentless subscription push. But this is not only a government story, it's a personal story. And before we go any deeper, if this is already making sense to you, go ahead and hit like so this video reaches more people who actually deserve to know what is happening here. Because what is happening is significant. Microsoft did not stumble into this situation accidentally. They chose it. The transition from a one-time purchase to Microsoft 365 was a deliberate corporate decision to extract recurring revenue from users who had no meaningful say in the matter. And the AI push made everything worse. Copilot integration across the Office suite means features once considered standard now arrive bundled with AI tools that route your content through external servers whether you asked for that or not. If you want the basic applications without the AI layer sitting on top of everything, you have to actively dig for them. The thing you actually need is buried underneath the thing Microsoft wants to sell you next. LibreOffice does none of that. You download it, you install it, you open it. That's the entire process. No account required, no cloud activation, no subscription check blocking your access because a payment method expired. The software runs on your machine, fully offline, unconditionally offline. In 2026, software that simply stays on your own computer without phoning home feels almost radical by comparison. The suite covers everything most users genuinely need. Writer handles word processing at a serious level. Styles, track changes, mail merge, and complex document formatting professionals depend on. Calc handles spreadsheets, pivot tables, conditional formatting, and data analysis that matches Excel for the overwhelming majority of real-world tasks. Impress covers presentations. Draw handles PDF editing, vector graphics, technical diagrams, and layout work most people would otherwise pay to access separately. Base covers database management. The entire stack, free, open source, and already bundled into most major Linux distributions by default. And Linux is where this story gets genuinely interesting, because Linux itself went through a transformation that made all of this possible at scale. The Steam Deck put Linux gaming into millions of living rooms without asking anyone to understand what was running underneath. Proton compatibility layers brought thousands of Windows games to Linux without manual configuration. Modern distributions like Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and Pop! OS now handle hardware drivers and application management at a level ordinary users navigate without friction. The image of Linux as a command-line environment built exclusively for specialists has been quietly and thoroughly dismantled. When Windows 10 support ended in autumn 2025, millions of users with perfectly functional hardware discovered that Microsoft wanted them to purchase new machines to run Windows 11. The TPM 2.0 requirement, processor compatibility restrictions, minimum storage demands, these were not primarily about security. They were about forcing a hardware upgrade cycle that would cost ordinary people real money for machines they did not need. Computers manufactured in 2017 or 2018, perfectly capable of handling everyday work tasks, were arbitrarily pushed outside Microsoft's upgrade path. Linux did the opposite. Those machines picked up new life on modern distributions. LibreOffice arrived as the obvious productivity solution, already installed and ready to use. The combination of accessible Linux and capable free software turned what used to be a purely technical migration into something millions of ordinary people actually chose to do in real numbers. A school district administrator in the Netherlands made exactly that discovery in May 2026. Her district had been running Microsoft 365 across several hundred machines, paying per seat, per year for software that increasingly pushed staff toward AI tools nobody had asked for or wanted. They made the move: Linux on existing hardware, LibreOffice for all productivity work. Annual licensing costs dropped to near zero. Machines that Microsoft's own system requirements had effectively declared obsolete ran faster than they had in years. Her assessment, shared across European education forums, the only thing the district lost was the invoice. That story is repeating globally across schools, municipalities, and small businesses who ran the numbers and found the same answer. Understanding why requires examining what Microsoft's pricing model actually costs, not just in money, but in something harder to quantify: control over your own work and the files that contain it. Subscribe now if you want to stay ahead of where this shift is genuinely heading.
The largest Patch Tuesday update ever, fixing roughly 200 flaws, including 3 0 days, and blowing past the previous October record of 170. The only thing that could make this update better is if it just deleted Windows and installed Linux instead.
The financial picture is stark when you lay it out honestly. A complete Microsoft stack in 2026, a Windows license, a Microsoft 365 subscription for current Office applications, OneDrive storage beyond the free allocation, and increasingly aggressive Copilot upsells embedded throughout the interface reaches a cumulative total that requires fresh justification every single year. And Microsoft keeps raising it. Upward, always upward. For individuals on a fixed budget, small businesses, freelancers managing their own costs, and schools with limited allocations, the math eventually stops working in Microsoft's favor. LibreOffice's model eliminates that calculation entirely. The version you download today will open your documents 5 years from now without a subscription check standing in the way. There is no forced upgrade path. There is no pricing adjustment email explaining why costs have gone up again. The Document Foundation operates as a non-profit without a revenue motive tied to user lock-in. That governance structure matters strategically more than any feature-by-feature comparison. Real limitations exist and deserve honest acknowledgement. Microsoft Office compatibility is good, not perfect. Simple documents translate accurately. Complex ones tell a different story. Advanced PowerPoint themes can shift layout unpredictably during conversion. Intricate Excel spreadsheets sometimes lose formatting precision. Documents built around proprietary Microsoft fonts render incorrectly when those fonts are unavailable on a Linux system. Then there's the macro problem. At major corporations, Excel functions as an internal software platform in its own right. Accounting teams run revenue reports through VBA automation. Finance teams process invoices through custom tooling built across years by staff who no longer even work at the company. Migrating these systems requires developer resources, extended testing cycles, and risk tolerance that most large organizations keep deferring. And the irony here is almost too sharp to ignore. The same macros that keep corporations locked into Microsoft are also a persistent and well-documented security liability. Macro-based malware has been among the most reliable enterprise attack vectors for over a decade. Turn macros off, and the critical workflows that departments depend on break. Leave them on, and your attack surface expands. Microsoft's most powerful retention mechanism doubles as one of its largest ongoing security headaches.
The privacy argument is where the conversation cuts deepest and where LibreOffice holds an advantage that no marketing campaign can close. Modern productivity workflows route documents through Microsoft Cloud servers, AI assistants trained on user content, Teams channels, OneDrive sync, and browser-based editing tools. Each layer requires trusting a corporation with the actual contents of your work. Legal documents, financial records, internal strategy files, personal correspondence, traveling through services whose terms of service are long enough to discourage anyone from reading them carefully. LibreOffice removes that chain entirely. The document stays on your drive, nothing is uploaded, nothing is processed remotely. No AI reads your files without your knowledge. No algorithm scans your business proposals to serve you more targeted advertising. No cloud terms govern what can be done with your content when the privacy policy quietly changes 6 months from now. For anyone who considers their documents genuinely private, for regulated industries, legal professionals, or anyone with serious data protection obligations, that distinction is not a minor feature, it is the whole point. The open-source architecture carries a trust model that proprietary software structurally cannot replicate. The source code is publicly readable. Independent security researchers examine it and publish what they find. No single corporation controls the project's direction or can unilaterally alter licensing terms to extract more revenue. The commitments the Document Foundation makes are verifiable, not dependent on corporate promises that shift alongside quarterly earnings pressure. What we're watching in 2026 is the beginning of a genuine and durable fork in how people relate to the software they use every single day. One path goes deeper into Microsoft's ecosystem, more AI integration, more cloud dependency, more subscription pressure, and diminishing ownership over your own files. The other path leads toward tools that run locally, cost nothing to use, and answer to no corporation. That fork has existed for years. What is different now is that millions of ordinary people are actually choosing it, not because a journalist or influencer told them to, but because Microsoft kept making the decision easier with every price increase, every forced update, and every AI feature injected into a product they never asked to change. The real threat to Microsoft is not LibreOffice beating them in a feature chart comparison or winning a head-to-head review on some tech website. It is users quietly canceling the automatic renewal, opening software that asks nothing of them, no account, no monthly payment, no cloud permission, and realizing that was all they ever actually needed. If Windows keeps getting heavier and more expensive and more locked down, and every signal suggests it will, the only question left is how long before Linux stops feeling like a backup plan and starts feeling like the obvious first choice. The answer, for a growing number of people, is already here. Share this video. People genuinely deserve to know what is actually happening out there.